Yo, what's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. It's a bit of a solo mission today as Jess is taking an online course. You guys know usually she's sitting right next to me, but not today. I got this one. But let's talk things to do in St. John, more specifically Lily Lake. And that's actually inside Rockwood Park, which is not much more than a stone's throw away from us. Well, maybe not quite. It takes about 7-8 minutes to drive there from here. But last weekend we had a little family trip. We went out there, which is the opening week of skating. I grew up on skates. I played hockey for nearly my entire life, and I've only skated on a lake like, I think maybe one. Honestly, I don't even know if I've ever skated on a lake. If I did, it was probably when I was like 7 or 8 years old at a cottage or something. So it was a fun experience for me as well. I was interested to see how it was gonna be. One of the great things about skating at Lily Lake is it's absolutely free to do, which if you're a young family like us, free activities are always welcome. So as long as you have a pair of skates and some warm clothing, you yourself could drive over to Lily Lake, park the car, and be on the ice within 5 minutes. When we first got there, we were kind of scoping out how does it all work? Like, where do we enter? Where do we sit down? Is there locker rooms? Is there washrooms? We weren't really sure, but we kind of just followed the crowd, and there was a bunch of places to put on your skates. Unfortunately, and I don't know if this was just because of COVID, but the only place they had for you to put on your skates was outside. It was cold when we went. I know myself, my hands were freezing as I was trying to tie my skates, and you know, that's probably the worst part about going skating outside is just like getting ready to actually skate outside. I did notice they had a fire pit there, which they weren't using. Again, this could be because of COVID, probably was because of COVID, but it was fairly busy when we first got there. We were able to find a good spot, put on our skates, and you know, we were out there in no time. The ice conditions, well, it was kind of midday towards end of day, I guess. You know, it was a little snowy. You did have to keep your head up and watch where you're going, and not because of, you know, people around you, that too you had to look out for, but there was some pretty big cracks in the ice, and you know, if you weren't careful, you know, you could hit a rough spot, you know, your toe could dip into one of those cracks and you would be going head first into the ice. So it is a lake. That kind of stuff is pretty normal for lakes. But other than that, it wasn't too busy. You had enough room to skate around and not be bumping into people. They did have people playing hockey out there, which I was happy to see. I did bring my stick and my hockey gloves and a puck. You know, that's something that I personally love to do. And to be honest, I was kind of surprised that they allowed, you know, the hockey players on the same time as the public skaters. Usually you don't see that because public skaters just don't like hockey players and the hockey players don't like the public skater. You know, for them to coexist, I mean, for me being a hockey player, it did work. You know, I didn't feel like I was running into people or people were running into me. Again, you know, I'm pretty comfortable with the stick and puck. I can kind of avoid people. I did notice, you know, public skaters around me were kind of skittish, and you know, since then, I think they have shoveled off another part of the lake that is specifically for hockey players, and the public skaters can be, you know, off on their own, which is a good thing. You know, in terms of scenery, very beautiful, lots of hills, lots of trees and forest and all that type of naturey stuff. Again, you are right on the lake, so it was pretty cool. And on top of that, it was a nice day. The sun was shining. It was cold, but it wasn't so cold that we weren't enjoying ourselves. If you guys do go, I would suggest bundling up, bringing a thermos with some warm tea or some hot coffee. Something like that would be just the icing on the cake. Now, I know one of the first things that I did when we officially bought our house in St. John, coming from Toronto last winter, where I felt I was actually spoiled by the abundance of outdoor rinks in the city of Toronto, downtown Toronto, and not just ponds, not Frozen Lake, Ontario, you know, with boards, with lines, with proper nets, all free of charge. Like, there was a handful of times last winter, I would keep my gear in the car, my skates, my gloves. I'd have a helmet in there too. Some of the rinks required you to wear helmets, so I'd always be prepared. I would be driving by and the rink would be empty, and I would just pull my car over, throw my skates on, my gloves, and I'd go out there, rip around with my puck and shoot on the net for an hour or so. And I really love that. The best part about it, the ice conditions there were phenomenal. The rinks there were flooded with the Zamboni once a day. And you know, for a hockey player, it's just, there's nothing better than an outdoor rink that's actually taken care of like an indoor rink would be. So don't expect that kind of treatment at Lily Lake. It is it is a lake. You know, there's cracks, there's lots of snow on it. It's not maintained to the same level as a hockey arena would be. If you're not a seasoned veteran skater, if you're not someone who's comfortable on their skates, you might find it a little bumpy skating on a lake. So just be mindful of that. And if it's like your first time skating, you know, don't go out there and decide that you hate skating because it's too hard to stand up and it's bumpy and you're worried about falling the whole time, because skating on a Lily Lake and then skating on an indoor rink is just, it's two totally separate things. So also be mindful of that as well. Okay, I don't want to put you on the spot, but Lily Lake, what did you think when we were there? Would you go back?
Yes, I will definitely go back. It was lots of fun. I expected it to be bigger. Lily Lake is so big that it seemed like a shame that they only cleared off a very small portion of the ice. But no, it was lots of fun. I've never skated on like a natural piece of ice. Is that what you call it?
Yeah, like a lake or...
Yeah, I've never skated on... Well, yeah, I don't think I have. I've only skated on like rinks that people made, like in their backyard or in an arena or whatever. So that was cool to be surrounded by trees, and yeah, it was lovely.
So if you're looking for something to do in the city of St. John in the wintertime, I would highly recommend checking out Lily Lake. You can't beat it, free of charge, and it's the perfect activity for like a Saturday or Sunday afternoon with your family. I guess I should mention as well that you need to bring your own skates. As far as I know, they weren't renting skates. I didn't see anywhere where you could rent skates. Maybe because COVID, probably because COVID, but just keep that in mind if you're gonna go skating. Make sure you bring your skates and have them sharpened before you go. Irie and I are just about to go for a little car ride. We're gonna go to our friend Kristen Shane's house. They have a forest right across the street from their house. Looks like a brisk winter day out there. Snow is coming down, but perfect conditions for taking Irie out on that sled. You guys know she loves the sled if you've been following this channel. Perfect opportunity to get out, get some fresh air, and make the most out of winter. We're gonna go on the sled today? Yeah. One hand. Layers on. Here. So that's all I got for this video, guys. If you liked the video, you found value out of it, make sure you hit the like button. It helps us out a lot and helps others find videos like this. Also, don't forget to subscribe. Yeah, if you're new here, we post, well, we try to post every week. It doesn't always work out that way, but we post often. So hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified when we post. Did I get it all? I don't know. It's always so hard to remember. I hope you guys have a good day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.